Hey, Taylor Price, my guy. Guys, if you want to go check out Taylor Price.
Okay. Well, I thank you again for dropping by. I mean, we've both been pretty damn busy. So how's the week been?
Oh, pretty busy. Pretty busy. Stressful. Yeah.
I see the lights are a little different back there.
Yeah, so yeah, no, like if you disconnect the plug into the wall, it like uh it stops the Bluetooth and all that. It's another hassle, so you should never try to disconnect the thing or it goes to those lights. But I might just keep it right there until DT season 4 goes on, then I change it to blue. But I like this bright gold. And I just it's supposed to be white lights, but it looks kind of like a
Yeah,
tan.
the orange vibe is gonna be gone now. I feel
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, with that being said, I mean, Double Trouble season 4 is coming soon. So, what are your expectations? What do you feel like?
To win World Series and actually like play decent. Like I think what happened near the end of that season. Well, I mean, I could have played on stream. I should have played on stream because I was on that streak. But I don't think I even played that bad in my World Series game. But I noticed that like I started to go ahead and play a little better, and I've been recording other videos right now, and I've been seeing like my pitching's been a little better. Hitting's been slightly better. It will be off at times, but I feel like this upcoming season that I'll this might be the best performance out of me out of all the seasons.
I mean, hey, we're all looking forward to it. It's been one of my favorite seasons so far. I mean, season 3 had a lot of ups and downs, but like you said,
Mhm.
that stream at the end was very fruitful. You ended up being one game away. So,
Yeah.
but with that being said, thank you guys for joining us. We are here on the Taylor Price Podcast, episode number 2. We're gonna do this right this time. We're gonna hopefully get this audio fixed and everything. But the main thing is we talked about a lot last time that didn't get shown to people. The main thing was we talked about upgrading players and kind of like maybe a progression system that we would like to
Mhm.
see out of MLB the Show. And I think that's something I want to rehash for sure because that was something that we both vibed on. I think something in previous games that I've noticed that they could have done was, like I said, add a progression to a player. Start us with a gold or a common player and bring him up to a diamond.
Yeah.
If we have missions throughout the season that like grow with the player, imagine how more interaction you have with the game.
Yeah. It's just there's that other aspect of grinding on the game and all that. Like what was it? You said you get to choose a player, right? In
Right.
one of the other games, and you just grind throughout the entire game cycle and you get their full potential card.
Yep. So like
Yeah, I like
2K
that.
had it where you pick the captain. You
Mhm.
basically had a captain to you could pick one of the 5 guys that they give you at each of the positions. I think it was like Damian Lillard,
Mhm.
Shaquille O'Neal, something like that. So you basically got to pick which player you wanted to kind of evolutionize
Yeah.
throughout the progress that you played in the game. And I thought that
Mhm.
was fun because there were challenges for you to play like triple threat, which is 3
Yeah.
on 3, to play
Yeah.
5 on 5, which is like against a bigger, more beefier squad. So
Mhm.
to me, it's like we could do a lot of those missions. I mean, the moonshot event just came out. I don't
Yeah.
know if you've been playing that at all, but
Yeah,
the
no,
moonshot event.
I'm like 40 points away from Gary Sheffield. The CPU grinding has been kind of like ass, so
Yeah,
yeah.
no, I've probably been there with you. I mean, we the good players that I've noticed that come out of these are definitely in the middle sections.
Mhm.
Like we get to see like I mean, Harmon Killebrew is a letdown. I'm not gonna lie. That's
Really. I haven't
a
tried him
Twins
out
player.
yet, so
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. At the lower levels, All Star, he's gonna be just fine. 90 to 97 contact and plus
uh-huh.
100 on both his power on both sides.
Yeah.
He's not bad, and he's got first and third. But like to be honest with you, like there's so many better first and third basemen out there. There's so many better players that are in
Mhm.
this face of the franchise program that we have
Yeah.
now that I think they could just easily
Yeah,
overtake
no.
Harmon Killebrew.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, the killer is he's a good player in Minnesota lore, but I mean, to be honest, if you look at all the legends in
Mhm.
the Minnesota section of everything, it's a little abysmal. I'm not gonna lie. I feel a little sad that Bert Blyleven is our best pitcher right now. Like, I'm
Is he
not
the
saying
only
anything.
legend Twins pitcher out right now?
I think the basically, and then Joe Nathan has a card in
Oh
there,
yeah.
who's one of my favorite closers of all time. But yeah, like I mentioned in the first podcast, Johan Santana has yet to be in the game, and I'm sitting here like going through all the different players that they could have added. I'm glad they added Torrey Hunter though.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
I'm,
I looked at his
that's the
attributes. He's got a good swing. It's a good card. It's a good card with good speed.
He's a singles machine for me for some reason. I can't get the ball
Uh,
over the fence online.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
he's a lot.
so like but with that 99 Gary Sheffield, that's the best attributed card throughout the entire game. So um I was like thinking to myself, like, they dropped that Rollins for a collection, right? Something that's like, I'm never probably gonna get Rollins if I don't have McCutcheon and George Brett. But I was like thinking, like, if that card is so OP, why wasn't that like a collection card, right? Or
Right.
so I was like, I was just thinking about that when Gary Sheffield dropped and everybody was going crazy, and I was just like, that to me should be a card that should be impossible to get. It's 125 power, 125 contact. He doesn't have a good swing. I can't swing with Gary Sheffield, but I was like looking at that, I was like, that should be a collection. Jimmy Rollins shouldn't be a collection. So many other better shortstops than him. So I mean, like, what are we doing? And then like people are not like, I don't know. 'Cause I was seeing everybody's like, oh, big W, big W. It was like, but then once like a collection drops and it's bad, like everybody's saying, oh, like, how come you're not saying
Yeah.
Gary Sheffield was a collection? Or
Yeah, I'm in that same boat because I mean, now that we're gonna get more players to help us collect, a lot more players are gonna get the I mean, they're gonna get Brett. They're gonna see how good Brett is, and they're gonna be like, oh, why do I even need to push forward? He's one of the best players in the game. He's been
yeah,
in as a collection reward since like the beginning of the game. So if you've been able to play with him or if anybody, I don't know. I remember watching maybe AJ or something like that.
mm,
He's got Frank Thomas too, who's just a
yep,
collection reward, who just rakes from early on.
hmm
If you had those players, those were the players that you had to grind for. Then you were a god. Like you had those players. Now it just seems like it's oversaturated with so many 99s that
yep,
they are just they could have done this in a more spread out way that made it feel more rewarding. Where
hmm
like the grind for like the extreme program doesn't even feel worth it. I
So
don't
I
want to
mean,
do a
I'm
conquest.
like, I'm just trying to get Chapman at this point. That's the next card I
Mm.
gotta get, and then everything else seems like I don't really need to go after. Like, it just
Yeah, I mean,
like Donaldson, but then I also have Hank Aaron, who's like a
yeah,
fucking demon at the plate, and
Hank
like I don't really
Hank
need to go after
Aaron
Donaldson.
and all the positions that Hank Aaron plays.
Yep.
That's amazing to me. I mean, he plays everything but short and
Mhm.
catcher.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if you throw him in a pitcher and he's got like a curveball and a sinker or something. Like
Maybe. Yeah.
I
But I don't
wouldn't
know.
be
Yeah. No,
surprised.
if they could just spread this out, I feel like maybe the game will last a little longer for people, who are playing stuff
Well,
like that.
the interest to stay in the game is gone regardless. Like I
Yeah.
feel bad because 2K and Madden come out, and if they had spread this out a little more, I would still feel like a little bit more incentive to play. I don't know what I want to play right now, and that's kind of a sad thing to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. I got 2K last night. I recorded a video yesterday, and I had a lot of fun. I mean, like, the thing that really popped out in that game is the fact that I was able to like go around, go to places with my player. In my career, I was able to go in the park. The thing was huge,
Yeah,
huge.
the city is
The
massive.
animations of getting into a game and all that, having your own office. It's just like it feels like you're actually like you're the player, and none of that happens in MLB the Show.
100%. I mean, the storyline is a lot more focused on in 2K, and I think that even goes back to when they had literal directors from movies doing this. They had Spike Lee directing
Hmm.
the
I remember
storyline
that.
that happened in 2K back in the day. So if you think about that, like 2K has always taken their storyline very seriously,
Yeah.
and they're actually in touch with the times. Well, I mean, the MLB could do, I mean, even a little bit. NHL has a better storyline, and theirs is trash than
Really.
what MLB even offers you.
Yeah.
The MLB shows you 3 cutscenes, maybe, besides the workout ones. I mean, you get
Yeah.
called up, you get called into the office, and you
Hmm.
get one guy telling you that you need to take less walks or take more walks or
Exactly.
whatever.
Yep.
It's like I've heard this 5 times now. Road to the Show is just so repetitive. I've only used it to boost like my cap, and that's it. And I
Exactly.
don't even use my cap anymore. Like I don't have a good series like Double Trouble to debut Tim Lincecum or something
Yeah.
like that.
No, exactly.
So
No, I feel like if they would focus on that, because I know a lot of people who love to grind Road to the Show and stuff like that. But I think it'd bring more of an audience to go back to Road to the Show. And during that downtime of not wanting to play online, you go to Road to the Show. Because there's nothing else, I mean, besides grinding the programs and all that. And there's franchise, but I'm not a big franchise guy.
no,
But I feel like Road to the Show is that big offline grinding mode.
I would
So
agree. I mean, how do we keep ourselves interested besides like the challenges if they're not going to spread them out? Like that's Road to the Show. That's my players for other games or Madden. Like they even, I mean, didn't Madden do like the park? I haven't played Madden's like little park system. I know they have like a NFL Blitz or NFL
mhm,
Street type game mode now where it's your created player
mhm.
that is in the game. Something like that where we could play with our created player against other creative players where we match up and we're I don't know.
I
Like
like
there
that.
needs to be more. Like there
Yeah,
could be so many ideas with that co-op system, even just three people. With that needs to be implemented more.
exact.
A ranked co-op. We did say that last time. I
Yeah,
remember that.
a ranked co-op where it's just basically ranked seasons, 2v2s or 3v3s, and there's actually a reward, what do you call it, system instead of just playing for nothing. So
Yeah, and I
I
bet you
thought that
could.
was a pretty cool idea.
I bet you could build stables. You could have like the gamer tags lock in, and then
Mhm,
whoever once you have that team of three, you create a team name, and it just tied to the gamer tags. That's
exactly,
you don't have to do anything else. You don't have to have people join teams. It's just when those three people play together, that this is their stable name.
exactly. That's the team right there. Like I think that's a
It's
great idea. Like you three guys play your ranked games and try to go ahead and yeah, make it a World Series or something like that, or compete in tournaments, online tournaments.
that would give us more a creator cup where they do co-op would be really fun. Or I
Yeah,
mean, they could pair you guys with real life Major League Baseball players and have you guys play co-op against each other. I would pay to see that. To be
yeah,
honest with you,
yeah.
if they did a creator cup where they grabbed creators like you, paired you with a Major League Baseball player, and had said, "Hey, 2v2 co-op, go have fun." Like that
Mhm.
would be fun. I
Yeah,
like 2v2 mainly because there's an odd number of players in the batting order. That means you have to get good with the other players that you have on your team that you don't bat with first because
mhm.
it
Oh,
it
so you bow
alternates.
yeah, 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 yeah,
When you have three, you bat in the same spot every single time. So you bat with the
yeah,
same three players. And
yeah.
it's a lot less strategy, but it's
Mhm.
a lot more fun when you have two other boys that you play with. Not gonna
Exactly.
lie.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, see, these are great ideas that would definitely help the game out. I mean, like, it wouldn't hurt to go ahead and make I think it wouldn't even hurt the game at all. I think it'd benefit the game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a
to be
little more
honest,
a little
so
more arcade style would bring in a different audience.
mhm,
I
yeah.
mean, we've seen games go into like NFL Street mode and NBA Street. MLB hasn't really had anything similar to that other than like maybe backyard baseball, and that's not even comparable.
Yeah.
I mean, what do we have? Well, Superstars baseball
Um,
or whatever it was. I mean, Superstar Baseball or what was that called? Super Mega Baseball.
Super
That's what it
Mega
was.
Baseball. I don't know. I don't think they've made a new one yet lately.
I mean, Super Mega Baseball 3 was the most recent. I didn't play it. Super Mega. I mean, if we think about the
Uh-huh.
landscape of baseball games, like M- MLB the Show, RBI Baseball, and Super Mega Baseball. That's all
That's
we
pretty
got.
much it. Yeah. There's nothing
We
else.
we don't have anything even more arcadey, more like interactive, or even. I mean, I guess you could say that like the Olympic Games has a baseball one, but that's not even.
Yeah.
I can't even find. I guarantee you, I can't even find one person that's still playing that right now
I
online.
didn't even know the Olympic game even had a baseball feature.
Yeah, they had a baseball one. I
Was it
mean, they
good?
play. No, no, no. I mean, for what it's worth, I mean, it was Nintendo, so Nintendo
Oh,
making it
okay.
didn't. They didn't make it a bad game. It wasn't worse than. Was it worse than MLB the Show? That's up for debate. I will
Yeah.
say because this year we've been having our ups and downs. That's
Yeah, no,
just
and since MLB The Show is really that only game that can portray the most realistic features of baseball, it's the only game, and there's not a lot of good features in what we're working with right now. So you have to buy MLB The Show. There's nothing
yeah.
else.
Unless you want to import the Japanese professional baseball game
Oh
on
yeah,
Switch, like
yeah.
Daddy Demo did. Like for real, like I want to see that video because if there's anything that we could learn from the Japanese, it's how to
Mm,
create a game. Like they do
exactly.
make a lot of Nintendo makes great games. We can't go wrong with that. But if we're trying to be hyper realistic and make the game work, then I
Mm,
feel like we do need to get some maybe outside influence because
yeah.
we've seemed to stagnate with the game. MLB the Show 23. We got a
Oh yeah.
very
No,
large wish list.
we've talked about a lot of ideas and all, and there's still more ideas. And if 23 comes out with the same exact copy of this, it's a downfall.
Yeah,
It's just it
it's
shows
almost a
that
nail in
they
the
know,
coffin.
but they just don't care.
If it's a money grab that they're looking for, then and even then, I don't think that that's what they should do. Because if they want to create more interest in the game, the only option I think right now is to create a new engine for hitting. Like,
Yeah.
to be honest, like how else do you create any sort of interest? Because if you copy paste anything from the last game, you're going to alienate a good portion of the people that play the game.
Mhm.
100%.
Yeah.
Creators are gonna stay because it's the game that keeps them relevant, at least somewhat. But at the same time, the people who don't enjoy the game are just gonna go to Madden, go to 2K, go to PGA like I will, or
Yeah.
other games that bring more entertainment.
Yeah. And that's something that's kind of like a big problem that I've been seeing lately. It's just, the viewership has just been kind of a drop for a lot of guys. Even for myself, I mean, Double Trouble did its thing and it did pretty well. And now I'm doing like, back to how I was making videos like 4 months ago. And I've kind of seen that drop of viewership where, people are less interested of, the same debuts and all that as it was at the start of the game.
Yeah, I
I,
kind
s-
of
I saw
feel
this coming. I saw this coming. Like,
you did.
like
I mean,
I've already
you
known
mentioned it in
even
the
last
last
year.
podcast.
Yeah, so like I didn't think what do you call it? I was gonna get the same amount of views like 4 or 5 months in. And the challenging part for myself is to figure out how to keep the same amount of views. And Double Trouble did a good job of like consistently 20K, 25K. And the goal is to get that up to like 30K, 40K, but it's kind of tough right now when people uh, are losing interest in the game itself.
I mean, we got to create some hype for it in some
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
So I feel like you're giving yourself at least some time to do that. I mean, I feel like you
yeah.
deserve a little bit of a break after the heartbreak at the end of the season,
Ye-
but the main thing is you want to keep your creative juices like refreshed. Like I mean, anybody can feel burnout, and I think that's the main thing with
That too.
YouTube that
I didn't want to feel
that
too burned out.
yeah, I mean,
Took a
I don't
couple
want you
days
to
off.
feel
Yeah,
that either with this series. Is if it's this good and you feel like it's something that you're comfortable with, I wouldn't not wish you to burn out on this specifically because
hmm
it's a bread and butter. Like I would never wish that upon any creator.
yeah,
Like if you have more creative things that you want to do, by all means, like
hmm
2K should be that like that space for you to be able to be like, hey, like let's try something new because who knows if that hits a chord with you where you get to go play that and have some fun with
yeah.
some people
That's
that
that's that's
maybe
what
you didn't
the
know.
That's all. Yeah, it's like this video, this 2K video is kind of just, I haven't done anything different on the channel since I did like some random Fortnite stream like a year ago and it kind of like messed up my algorithm. But I haven't done anything like different as a video. So this is kind of like a big test for me, especially in the tough state of the game and all that and
Yeah.
with viewers who are I would believe mainly are MLB the Show gamers and all that play some other games too. So I'm very worried, very anxious on how this video is gonna do. I clearly didn't even know what I was doing while playing 2K because I haven't played 2K in a long time. But let's just see how it does when I drop it. If it does bad, it does bad. Like that's
I
that's
think
that's kind of where I'm just like okay, I'm kind of expecting that, but I'm up for a surprise. So
I can already picture the beginning of the video and that's just from me being a viewer. So
yeah,
like I get hyped because like seeing a creator try a game that I've played maybe a million times or got really good at. That's fun for me to be like, oh, sick,
yeah,
they get to see it. It's not even that I want to see how bad they are. It's more that's actually the opposite. I want to see like if they get good and like see their journey.
hmm
Like if you started doing like a PGA 2K thing, I would be tuned in because the main thing would be is like how difficult is the game.
hmm
You would see you would hit that wall where you're like, oh god, I gotta practice more.
yeah,
And then that next time you go out where you're like more hyped for actually hitting those shots, you're like, that is why you play the game.
yeah, yep, yeah, right,
And that could be the most entertaining thing for a viewer on YouTube is like seeing a creator branch out and be like enjoying themselves on a new game, but then also like seeing their progression. So like
hmm
viewers are gonna see that, I hope, and like enjoy your 2K experience to the point where you can just be like, hey, let's try this again.
yeah, yeah,
The algorithm, I mean, you can mess it up pretty easily, I guess, with just one video. You're saying like one Fortnite video
yeah.
can mess
No,
that
like
up.
I was doing the MLB playoff watch parties. and I
Okay.
was doing the watch party for the World Series, and then that was like I was getting like 500 people in stream and all that, and then I was like 25,000. No, like 20K. No, wait, no, like 15,000 total view, like as a stream. I did the Fortnite
Yeah.
stream, and then out of nowhere, it was just like I think it dropped by like 5,000 and all that. Like only 100 people were stopping by my stream and stuff like that. So it took like a couple streams and a couple videos to go ahead and get back to normal to get the numbers again.
Wow.
So then that's why I was always afraid of doing anything else on the channel.
I wonder if it was just so drastically different that that's what caused it, because it's a completely different genre. And I mean, it's not baseball. If you stayed within another sport, I feel like that's different. Like sports have their niche market where you would I feel like you wouldn't have retained everybody, but you would have retained a lot more because sports kind of translate.
Yeah.
Whereas Fortnite definitely would have hit a chord with people where they're like, "Oh, I don't want to
Yeah,
watch
maybe
this."
that's what it was. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not going to speculate only because it was Fortnite at the time. I mean, the game itself hasn't had like its,
Yeah.
rise in popularity since the first year of the game. If you feel like streaming it now, I feel like it's such a niche market. Like
Mhm.
it became so popular in like the competitive scene. So if you weren't playing your heart out or sweating your balls off,
Mhm.
like it didn't seem like anybody was gonna care.
Yeah. Yeah. You
So it's
kind of
like,
have to have a skill in that game and stuff like that. Like there's all the big creators, they're pretty damn good. So
yeah.
I don't see anyone that's bad at the game.
Well, then
Yeah.
they created those custom games and stuff like that. I feel like that added a little more to it. And now that you can play like basically Among Us inside Fortnite,
Yeah,
I
no, they've
mean,
added a lot of features that that's just a lot. I don't know. Like I don't know what they're doing at this point. I only really go on Fortnite. Like I remember like a month ago I was like on Fortnite every night with a couple of friends. I don't know what it was that just got us back. And I don't know. I think it was just when I started to go and realize that like MLB the Show was just like was just only the grind for a video and stuff like that, not
yeah,
like offline grind or anything, just for my pure enjoyment. So now I just went ahead and played Fortnite, and then we played like Rocket League or Minecraft. That was something we played a
yeah,
couple months ago. But
yeah,
yeah, no, that's the reason why I really went to those games, just because I didn't feel like MLB did its job
yeah.
only for a video, but not off stream. Or yeah.
With that being said, like offline games, what do you play offline typically?
On MLB
I mean, well, I mean, even besides MLB, I mean, you
at the
do you play much
moment.
of that offline?
On MLB, I mean, only offline grinding is just to get a card, but like off
Right.
MLB, like anything else, at the moment I'm playing Mike. Made this point guard in 2K, and I'm just shooting threes. That's what I had a lot of. I was playing up till like 4 a.m. while having to timestamp a video that took me 4 hours to do because I was playing 2K. But I'm doing that at the moment. Sometimes I'll go on Star Wars Battlefront and snipe around there, and then I can't really fit much on my PS5 console until they make something where I can get extra storage. But Call of Duty Modern Warfare, not good at
Mhm.
that game. I might get the new game. And yeah, I mean, there's nothing else. I don't have a lot of PC games to
Mhm.
fit on here, and yeah, so it's basically right now at the moment, it's 2K is
Yeah.
kind of like my interest right now.
Whenever you get, I might get MW2 only because I don't know. I feel like
Have you played the beta?
I can't because I don't have a PlayStation. I have a
Oh
PC.
yeah, yeah,
But once it comes out on PC, like I'm gonna rock that game. But like
yeah.
that's the thing is like the game is so huge. I might have to get a whole new computer just to load the game. Like,
Yeah. No, there's no
and
shot I would get this game on here. I have no
I heard it
storage.
crashes too. I heard it crashes
Yeah.
a bunch. So I'm just like I don't know what to do. This is one of those things where like I haven't played Call of Duty and like liked the game since I mean even before the most recent like World at War games or
Mhm.
even like that. Like for me, like when Warzone came out, that's when I kind of just like really dropped off with Call of Duty. I just couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah. See, I wasn't, when I was young, I wasn't that cultured of, playing a bunch of COD games and all that. Like if you name me like Cold War. I don't know, like just any of the old COD games or
Cold
Halo
War.
games. Like I never played those games, and I wish I did. Felt like I would
Yeah.
have been, I would have been what do you call it, connected more with some friends that talked about it and played it. But no, I never really played those games. Even like Super Mario Smash Bros. Never played
Yeah,
that
Super
game.
Smash Brothers. Yeah. Yeah.
Never
So
played
like
that game or
that's a
any
huge
Pokemon
scene.
games.
That's a huge scene, the Melee scene. I mean, that's a game that came out when I was a kid, 2001, and there's still people playing Super Smash Brothers tournaments today, like on that game on GameCube.
Yeah,
So it's a huge scene in my state too, and in California, it's actually one of the biggest. They have it separated into two sections, NorCal and SoCal. So like they
really.
literally, there are so many good players in California that they break up the rankings for each of them into two sections. So like
Wow.
yeah, like a lot of the people who, well, the best player in the world, in my opinion, the goat of all goats, is from
Uh,
Norwalk, California.
uh,
So his name's Mango. Shout outs to Mango, C9 Mango. He's been sponsored by them since like 2013. He
wow.
won. Evo is one of the biggest fighting game tournaments of all time, and he won two of them back to back. He's the only guy to do it. So
Mhm.
he's a legend, that dude. So if you ever
Yeah,
want to watch or get into Super Smash Brothers Melee, I would watch some of his streams or just follow some of the. I mean, there's nightly tournaments every night now that
really.
the game is online. You can play it on your PC against your friends who are across the
Okay.
country. No lag too. It's well virtually no lag, I will say.
Yeah. Damn. Okay. A whole nother world of
It's
gaming that I didn't know
like
about.
I said, like or like you said, it's a whole new world where like if you're not exposed to it, it's kind of like it's fun to learn about. I feel like because I didn't know about the Melee scene until I was well into college, even
Mhm.
though I played the game. So like you never know that there's a scene for a game that you may have played way back in the day that now there's probably people on Reddit or in a Discord right now probably playing Mario Party 2 or Mario Party 4 or something like
Yeah.
that against each other. So
Yeah. Mhm.
there's a lot of ways to connect with people nowadays, especially to play video games like Discord. I mean, besides just that, I mean, I think the main thing that people are finding a way to connect through is just like video games where we can
Mhm.
Rocket League is quick. I mean, you mentioned that earlier. That was one of those games where like I met some people online just by playing quick play who were some of the chillest people
Mhm.
I've ever met.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can find so many chill gamers just by being relaxed when you play Rocket League.
Exactly.
Because that game is like it's 5 quick minutes. If even if you don't vibe with the person, 5 minutes later you're in a new game. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
who's chill now? Let's see who's here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's yeah. I wish we can find a way to go ahead and bring back the old days of gaming where it was just like come home and you want to get on and stuff like that instead of
Yeah,
like coming home getting on and like hey, what's it today or something like that. I don't know. Like there's just I feel like there's just no interest in a lot of games at the moment. Well, for me, like
I'm with
2K is
you.
doing its part, but I feel like I just not the same.
We're in a lull for sure right now. We need some excitement, and I don't think even until Christmas. I mean, I don't know the forecast right now for new games that are coming out.
Mhm.
Even the new PGA game that's coming out, I'm not even that excited for. Like,
Really.
and I'm a guy who was professional at the game. Like,
Yeah.
imagine new games coming out, and not a lot of people are being excited about it. It's like it's just a lull that we're in.
Yeah. Yeah. And since MLB is really just my game and all that, like I just look forward to the to MLB the Show 23 and seeing what they can change and all that. Seeing if they
Yeah,
listen to this and add in some of those new features without having server disconnect and all that.
yeah.
Like a perfect game for once, but I highly doubt that's gonna happen. Maybe they'll slowly do it, like slowly go ahead and add some new features instead of like all in one. But I think that they should just make that change and make everybody happy for the new game.
I don't know if you can see. I have it blurred, but my fiance's in the
Yeah, I saw
background.
someone moving in the back.
Yeah, she's playing that Disney fantasy game, I think it's called, or it's like
Uh,
Fantasy Island or
Multiverse
Fantasy Land.
Us or
No, it's not a fighting game. It's like it's kind of like Minecraft.
the one that came out like a couple years ago.
It's like Disney Fantasy something. I can't remember. Fantasy. Hmm.
I remember there was a game that came out a couple years ago.
Oh, it's Disney Dreamlight Valley. That's what it's called.
Okay.
So it's on Game Pass, so you can. It's free. I didn't have to pay nothing.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's like Disney themed. You get to play around. And there's some funny glitches.
Hmm.
All of a sudden, they'll just be like Daffy Duck or Donald or whatever, and then they'll be just like glitching in the ground and like
What the
spazzing
heck?
out, and you're just like, I don't know. I love the Fallout series because the game had a great storyline, but a lot of the time I was trying to break the game. Like I found glitches. I found ways to like, because there's a barter system, so you can buy and steal things
Hmm.
from people. So you can buy something from a merchant, sell things to a merchant. You can pickpocket them,
Yeah.
get the thing back, sell it back to them. But it's like always reduced. They figured out, like, obviously you can't just like make unlimited money, but eventually you'll get caught. He'll be like, "Hey, you've sold this to me like twice now," and he'll just be like, pull out a gun and be like,
What the heck?
but
So the game is like learning on itself as it progresses.
sort of,
Interesting.
because like it just makes it so you can't be successful stealing from people over and over again. But my favorite thing ever about Fallout New Vegas was I would always put landmines in people's pockets, because the second they start to walk away, they just start beeping and they're like, "What's that in my
Online
pocket?"
players?
No, this is all offline, so it's a story mode. But like, to get your pickpocket level up, you got to go into people's pockets and steal things. But you can also leave things in their pocket too. Well, I was like, I figured out, like, when I was like very early on in the game, that you can put a grenade in somebody's pocket and it'll go live and then just blow them up.
Huh.
And I was like, huh. I'm gonna go to every good NPC in the game, steal all their stuff, put a frag grenade in there, walk away. I should be fine. Lo and behold, I couldn't finish the storyline after that because I blew up everybody. Well, that's my fault.
Oh wait, that's hilarious though.
I like putting landmines in people's back pockets.
Yeah.
All right, it's one of my favorite things. So don't give me access to like pickpocket people in games, because then I will abuse the system. But that game had funny glitches too, people running through the ground, all that stuff. So
Yeah.
the best part about games sometimes is how to break them.
Yeah. Finding the weak points of it. Yeah, and pretty fun to go and do.
They found out how to break the walls in MLB the Show, where you could like hit the ball through it, and then you would just run around the bases, and the other guy on fielding couldn't go grab it.
What?
And people were abusing that online and getting banned, and they're like, "Why am I getting banned?" And posting that early in the early life cycle of this game. So in MLB the Show stadiums, I remember reading like an article about how like this guy got banned, and he was like, "I built this stadium, yada yada yada. I hit the ball through the wall one time, and I get banned." And it's just like, well, the thing is if you abuse a glitch in ranked, like, that's different. If you're playing casual, nobody benefits from a win in casual. Like, you versus your friends, and if you hit the ball through the wall, I don't care. But if you're gonna play a ranked game, and you're gonna play a glitch stadium on purpose,
yeah,
I have no sympathy. I'm sorry. Like, not even.
Is that what he did? He played online?
Yeah. He played a ranked game, won the game, got reported, and they go look at the system. They probably saw, guy hit the ball at the wall, got a home run. That's interesting. Like, his contact shouldn't have rewarded him with a home run, but he got one because the ball went through the wall.
Yeah. Interesting.
People will look to do that, I guess, in every game. They're going to try to break it.
Yeah.
I was one of those people. Glitches were famous back in Halo 2. That's how, like, sword jumping became a thing. Glitching, like, super bounces became a thing. Like, you could look all of those up in, like, Call of Duty as well. Super bounces. People found those too.
No, yeah, for sure. For sure. No, there's still a lot of glitches going on right now, The biggest one is, like, ball teleportation and all that, and player teleportation. Kind of interesting. I had one play where it was a ball in the gap, and the guy's player dove for the ball, but he like overdove the ball, but then an invisible wall came out of nowhere and pushed him back to get the ball. And I was losing my mind. I was like, what the fuck? Did they just put a wall in front of the O'Neal Cruz? Like, this guy gets everything.
Yeah.
So
He's made of rubber apparently.
and yeah, so I mean, a lot of glitches on MLB the Show that I don't think will ever get fixed, but it is kind of cool to go and see some of those glitches and stuff like that. I think it's just part of the game, and yeah,
They might have to build a whole new engine for like the entire game, not just the hitting system, because the physics don't seem to match up. Like
nah,
I don't know.
no, they don't. And like say like for the hitting and all that, like piece up a good ball, right? And then it's like perfect and all that. Like not every in real life, not every single good hit is gonna
Right.
result in a perfect. But I always say like it's a fucking video game, right? I had a
Yeah.
perfect, and I smack that. Come on, give me that shit. Like it should be over the wall, right? Why is that? Why is it a
Yeah.
perfect dying at the warning track with 125 power? Like, dude, like, come on, okay. In
No.
real life, if the wind's blowing and all that, like, hey, that's real life. But this is a fucking video game, dude.
Yeah. I had Nelson Cruz, who's got 125 power off a lefty, hit one at Coors Field to dead center, and it died on a perfect. And I just looked at the game. I couldn't stand it, dude. I will say though, you're right with like sometimes you hit a perfect in real life. Like even in real life, you can square up a ball and hit it right at somebody.
Yeah.
That's the whole part of baseball that happened to me like in multiple seasons where
Mhm.
I was hitting the ball well. I struck out twice in a high school season, all season.
Mm.
In like a 20
Wow.
game season, I struck out twice. But I also batted like 200 because I hit the ball. I lined out like 30 times that year and grounded out 26 times. Like
Yeah.
just hit the ball right at people. It's not my fault. I hit the ball hard,
Mm.
but at the same time, like you can't help it if somebody's positioned where they're supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the
Th
nuance of baseball.
no, exactly. No, that's just baseball. Literally, that's what everybody says. Like, that's just baseball.
Yeah.
But also, this is just a video game, right? So, like, I should be
Yeah.
getting my rewards and all that. And yeah, no, I mean, just going back to like, what is a hit, right? What is a hit in MLB the Show? Like, good PCI placement should result in a hit, but also something that doesn't even touch your PCI could also be a hit, and also could be a no doubter, which is
Yeah.
kind of whack. And then everybody talks about like, oh well, you were early, but your PCI was on the far left. That means your bat was just right in line of hitting the barrel. And I'm like, what? Like, but I do the same thing, and then the ball's on the PCI, but it's a pop up or something like that. So
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
have noticed the like the contact versus balance versus power on each player's card, and then like
Yeah.
the PCI matters a lot, and they don't talk about it enough. And maybe I've just witnessed this now, but like the contact players all have the bigger PCI part
Mm.
in the middle, whereas power guys have it on the top. You know, in those three diamonds that we have.
Yeah.
So I play with wedge. So the wedge is like the outside circle smaller
Mhm.
here, let's say, you know, and then the other side is bigger. Whatever side the batter is playing on, whatever say it's a right-handed batter, the inside part of the plate is going to have a little smaller parentheses. Then it's going to
Mhm.
have three diamonds.
Yeah.
If he's a power hitter, that top diamond is huge. It's bigger than all the rest of them below it. But if
Ah.
it's a contact player, his thing is in the middle or it's in the bottom. And it's rare for it to be in the bottom, but I'm pretty sure if it's in the middle, that means they're a contact player. It means if your PCI is in the, if you square up the ball in the middle half of the ball with a contact player, you're more likely to get like the 100+ mph exit velo. Versus when you hit it in the upper part, which normally with power hitters causes you to launch the ball out of the fucking ballpark.
Mm.
Because in the power hitter, that diamond, when you hit it in the upper half of that of your PCI, that's where that bigger diamond is.
Uh-huh.
Versus with that balance player, it seems like if you hit it in the middle, yeah, it's a lot of line drives, but they get those contact base hits because they have that attribute. But they also seem to hit more home runs too because that exit velo is ridiculous.
Mhm.
One player I know this for specifically, and it's also, I thought it was his swing, but I think it is the PCI, is
Mhm.
Jorge Polanco. He's a
Uh-huh.
switch hitting player. He's got great power, both sides of the plate, but he's got better contact. So I noticed that I've hit more home runs in the bottom half of the PCI with him than I have in the top half. And this is just from playing online and playing against CPUs on All-Star.
I didn't know that.
When I squared up on the bottom part of the PCI, I've launched perfects 470 feet at Coors Field. like up into the upper deck, but I hit the lower part of the PCI. So to me, I think those contact and like the PCI and the power, like archetypes or whatever you want to call it, matter. Like you got to pay attention to the PCI to see where those bigger little spots are, so that you can determine where you have to piece up the ball. But that sucks, because then you have to then you have 9 batters that you have to make sure you know which part of the.
I didn't know that.
I'm only noticing that from my like experimenting, from just sitting there in CPU grinding, like just sitting there just trying to grind for these cards. I'm like, even on rookie, like when you play on rookie, like your PCI is massive.
Yeah.
Right? But I've noticed that like with Jorge Polanco, I'll hit the ball in the upper half, never hits it out. When I hit it in the lower half, he hits it like he's a power hitter.
Mm-hmm.
So that to me tells me a lot more about like where, like we have to pay attention to that contact, that balance, and that power when they show the card, when we hold right trigger, but then also paying attention to the PCI, because that seems to matter a lot.
I didn't know that.
The archetype of the batter with like your creative player, like it changed that for me too, because I had a fielding player who had more power and his diamond was like up higher, but then I had just a purely contact batter who was my second baseman who had it in the middle, and I noticed that when I played it with him online, I could never hit bombs with him, but when I play with my fielding guy who has that power one, he would just hit fucking nukes.
That's whack.
It is, but it is having to pay attention to what type of batter you have up to the plate. Because, I mean, if you think about it, those like high contact players, they're not likely to hit home runs because they're not high power hitters. But we sometimes get a juice contact player. Ozzie Smith is the biggest one that I can think of right now. That's a contact guy. He's a contact guy first, no matter what. But even if you give him, the attribute that has him hit more home runs, the type of swing he has and the type of contact that is above his power is going to give him that middle diamond where you still need to piece it up in the middle half. And then I was doing that earlier, and all of a sudden I hit a home run with him for the first time. I'm like, wow. I hit the lower half of the ball on the PCI, and all of a sudden that ball is nuked. When I hit a pop-up with him earlier where I thought that was like perfect contact, it was like 94 exit velo, and he warning track to center. It is weird.
Definitely a lot more to focus on now that. Wow, I didn't know that. Someone told me about the leg kick thing, where if they step quicker, then it's a fastball. If they raise their leg up a little longer, then it's an off speed.
I can't even pay attention to that.
Yeah, I know. Like, there's just so much, and you just talked about that, and
I pay attention to my PCI. Like, I don't care about the batter. I mean, I'm on strike zone high. I guess I could be closer. I mean, do you play on strike zone high?
Strike zone high, yeah.
Strike zone is the closest, and I do feel like you do get a very good view, but I feel like the depth perception is a little weird. And I like to be up a little more, and that's why I like strike zone high. So if it was zoomed in a little more, I think I would like it. But then again, like O'Neal Cruz makes it so it's like strike zone again because he's so freaking tall.
Yeah.
That's one of those challenges that we had to do. You had to use 6'5" players and then 5'10" players in the Moonshot program missions. Did you do that?
Yeah. It is, yeah. You should do that for the short guys, tall guys.
Or you could do the old guys, young guys too, because you had to do 35 and older, and I couldn't find. I mean, Yachty is the only catcher that's over 30, like that's over 35. I couldn't find anybody else. But then you get Albert Pujols at first, right?
He's 42.
You get Miggy at third, who's 39, and then Alan Trammell. You have to use his gold. You have to use his gold card. There's no other.
That card.
Alan Trammell, yes. And then who's the catcher? I can't remember the catcher.
You said Yachty, right?
Oh yeah, no, it was Yachty. Yeah, it was Yachty, but I had to use his base version because I don't know. I didn't check his milestone card, but I think his milestone card is too young. I can't remember. But his live series card has 40 power and 40 contact and 0 speed. So yeah, try hitting a home run with him at Coors Field. Good luck.
I'm gonna need him to get supercharged for me to go and do anything.
Yeah, and then I was trying to think, who did I use in right? I had to use Larry Walker's gold card.
Oh God.
Center. Who's in center? Who's in center? Who's in center?
He used like Willie Mays'
God.
old card. 'Cause
I
he
didn't
played.
have Willie Mays. Who did I have in center? God, that's tough. Oh, Juan Pierre, because he's 35. You had to be 35 and older, so I had Juan Pierre, and that was like the best center fielder I could find.
Mhm.
I think left field was Adam Dunn
Uh-huh.
or Babe Ruth, because there's a Babe Ruth's gold card is 39.
Oh wow.
I think I did that. Who was that? Who was that third?
Uh,
Such a
you
terrible.
said
Oh
Miggy,
yeah,
right?
Miggy. Yeah,
Yeah.
Miggy. Short was Alan Trammell. Second was, God damn, it was Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson's 88 overall card.
Uh,
So
yeah.
the only two power hitters are really Albert and Miggy, and Miggy's a contact hitter. So I had to hit the ball in the bottom part of the PCI to get the ball to leave the ballpark. But with Albert, he's got it at the top. I can just hit my PCI as low as possible, and he hits a home run even if you don't hit the PCI.
Interesting. Okay.
I have his home run derby card. I don't have his live series. Well, I did, but it's super. I should have used that, didn't I?
No, the live series is pretty cracked. 125 power. Righties,
Well,
lefties.
I saw your video, and when you hit the home run with him, I freaking jumped out of my seat. I was like,
Yeah. I was trying to hit a couple more. Everything seemed to be a line out. But yeah.
He's got such a good swing.
Oh
It's
yeah.
so sad that he's massive in the game. He like takes up so much space because those inside pitches, it feels like he can't get to, even though he is
Nah.
quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
So with the wish list coming out of MLB the Show 23, what is the top of your list? What is the first thing?
I've always been asking for a redraft button BR to go and reduce time. That was something I've been asking for that for the past 2 years. Um, everything we've talked about. And today I was putting together a team build for a video I was doing, and I was like, you know what? I would have found these guys a lot quicker if they would have done a thing where like I can put in guys who have 98 speed, find guys who only have 98 speed, or an age, what do you call it, filter, or a
Mm-hmm.
power filter, or a contact filter, something like that, or a country filter, or something like that. I feel
Yeah.
like that should be something else that can go ahead and be added for the next year's game. And I think that's all. That's honestly kind of big because it just reduces a lot of time on searching players instead of going to the marketplace or going through your binder.
Oh
Um,
God.
or yeah, no, add him onto the team. So I was like, that I think that should be a big ad. That's pretty important to go and add in. And what else? Road to the show. I feel like you know what? I'm gonna put Road to the Show on the top because I love Road to the Show so much that if they just do what we said, that would be like my thing where I'm like not recording, I'm playing Road to the Show. I'm doing my storyline. I'm walking around the my stadium or something like that, interacting with other
Yeah.
guys. Maybe we you do like you go into home run derby with your player and stuff like that, and you can talk to other people or stuff like that.
Oh, I
And
like that.
yeah,
I like that
walk into the
because like
stadium and stuff like that.
I could see them doing like kind of like a My City. Not even you don't even have to do that. You could like when you're in the minors, there's always like a fair vibe at every minor league ballpark. So if you have a fair vibe and you go, you can throw, see how fast you throw into that, into the
Yeah,
that blow up tube thing that they have at every single fair that you go to. It's like
that would
how
be
fast
dope.
do you throw? You could have your guy go into the batting cage and actually make it worth it. Like in
That
the
would be
game,
dope.
like
Yeah.
the batting cage like workout doesn't make me feel like I'm gaining
No, you just
anything.
press the button. He's doing it himself, and then you just get out of there.
Right. Like there's no timing, like there's no nothing like the me going into team practice should like add some value to that. Like my coach should be like, "Oh, I see you putting in work," and that should add some value to it. Like
Yeah.
God, there's so much they can add, and they need like a group that just sits there and thinks about these ideas, and they're like try them in the game or
I'm sure that they
something.
don't even have a group that thinks about those ideas because we don't even work for SDS. We play the game and we've been thinking about these
All these
these
ideas.
ideas, and we've thought about more than they did. So I don't
I'm I'm
understand.
I'm tempted to call or create a video or a group of us to talk and call it just the MLB the Show think tank and just all of us just throwing in ideas and being like, this is what we want. Like
Yeah.
we can't, voice our opinions enough to like see like, I mean, besides the hitting engine and the gameplay itself, like these cosmetic features matter to us. Like we want to
Mhm.
see the game look good, feel good, and have those extra features that keep us coming back, like the old school feel of video games.
Yeah.
They had so much, like there was so much to dive into in like NCAA football 14 on your created player. Like even before that, like they had you in like high school and stuff like that. You could play your high school football games and then go into college and play your 4 years there, bring your character to Madden, and all of a sudden, guess what? That
Wow.
progression goes through. Yes,
Yeah.
imagine a progression system through 3 different games. That
Wow.
they did that. EA did that.
So they did a thing with NCAA football where you start off a player in 1 year of a game in high school, and then the
In
next
high
year.
school.
Oh, so
You
it's
start
not
off your
all in one game.
you start your senior year in high school, you play your full senior year, you play through the playoffs all the way to the state championship, you get recruited while you're doing
Uh
that,
huh.
you get your spark rating from Nike, and then all of a sudden you get to pick your college. You go to your college, you play your 4 years, you win 3 Heisman, 4 Heisman, whatever. You can download that character, bring him to the next Madden that's available, upload that character, play
Wow.
with him, and dude, that's three levels that you played through in 2 games. You've just connected. Like the evolution of your character can be massive if they just figure this out. I mean, NCAA baseball was one of my favorite games that EA ever made. I can't imagine MLB the Show having a hard time licensing now that the NIL is a thing.
Mhm.
College
Yeah.
baseball game, even MLB the Show, if they created that to like experiment with, that would be cool to me.
Yeah. No, that would be cool. I always think about like, is it like a storage issue or something like that? Like,
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. That's just thinking a little too far. But no,
The
these
game,
these
yeah,
would
the
be
game
great
is.
ideas to go ahead and add in.
I mean, yeah, if they don't want to make the game size so freaking huge, I understand that. Like that's, but we already are. We're kind of expecting that now. Warzone is such a big game. Like we see other games becoming large, and I think we're willing to put them on our hard drives if they're worth it. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna create the space if we think the game is worth it.
Hmm. Yeah.
I mean that should be a message to any game developer. If MW2, if the biggest Call of Duty in the world is not even shaming, like not even shaming themselves. Like they don't care. They will joke about how big their game is on your hard drive
Hmm.
because they know how good their game is. They know that you want to play it. So they're like, we don't care. We're going to make the game as big as possible because we're going to add more features to it.
Yep. Yeah.
I'd be willing to add more features to my game if it made the game better.
Hmm.
100%.
Agree. Totally agree.
MLB the Show could be in a great state if they I don't know. It's not being aware. It's just like I think they are being cautious, but overly cautious, and that's it's hindering them. It's hindering their performance.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can see what it's been doing right now as of recently. So yeah.
I just want to see our creators, blossom and grow. I mean, we've seen a lot of growth between the YouTubers in our space,
Yeah.
but I want to see it continue beyond the game. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping
No.
that like
I want there to be
it
game
continues the
changing
trajectory.
numbers or something like that, and
Yeah,
I don't think there has. And to be honest, like you get 100K, 200K views, and I feel like that's the max for a lot of people. But game changing is up in the billions, and I want to see that happen.
yeah,
I want that to happen. For my channel, for other people's channels. Because that's a sign that the game is getting bigger.
yeah,
Not just get like a lucky 1 million view for like a great idea, and then it just doesn't happen until like 6 years later.
yeah.
Because I don't
No,
think anybody's ever gotten. I don't think anybody's gotten 1 million views on a besides Bobby Crossley's maybe Rose of the Show, but
mm.
uh,
I mean, I think the TikToks are obviously going a little more viral only because it's a little freer of a medium. It's quicker and stuff like that.
yeah.
I would count each million view as like kind of like a fourth of a view on YouTube. So
Hmm.
like if you get 1 million views on a TikTok, that's like 250K views on YouTube, maybe less because it's a lot of people watching it over and over again. But I mean that exposure can't just be on TikTok, and I think SDS should be aware of not that Twitch is quickly dying, and that
Hmm.
YouTube and shorts and stuff like creating moments and content should matter just as much as the long form and the Twitch streams and the qualifiers have been executed so poorly even on their streams. So I don't know, like you said, there needs to be something groundbreaking, something massive.
Yeah, I think there needs to be a structure. I don't think there's a set structure. I think if there's a structure, the content plans and all that, I think that's the first step right there, is getting all that down.
Yeah.
And then work from, content itself, what to bring out and stuff like that, and how to please your viewers.
I mean, the MLB gaming, I don't know, are they tied to MLB the Show? Because they have their own.
I think so. I think so. I think they made that just for MLB the Show, maybe.
Hmm.
I don't really
Because I mean, they
know,
have
but
creators within there, but like, do they listen to those creators? It's hard to tell.
yeah, I don't
We have
know.
We have Cougs in there, but Cougs has voiced some of his concerns in videos as well. I don't see them listening to that either. And it's like if they're sponsoring gamers and even not even listening to them, it's like I don't know if that's the case, but if it is, that sucks. Like
Mm,
that's a creator that you trust, and even his voice isn't being heard.
yeah, yeah,
We're gonna need a big think tank because like I'm hoping that there's a voice for us. Like that's just what I'm looking for. Not just me. I'm sure there's plenty of us that are looking for that.
yeah. No, I mean everybody. We've seen, if you've seen DC's, ran videos, he brought back the Supercharged feature, which they totally forgot about. He's doing his
100%.
part. I mean, but he can only do so much, and it's just got to be someone over there at SDS that's just gotta do it themselves and just change it up themselves.
It really does feel like they forgot about that supercharged feature for a while. It's like they forgot the password to it or something. They're like, oh yeah, we
Yeah.
remembered the password again.
It took DC to go ahead and custom out to go and bring back a feature that they introduced at the start that everybody was excited for, and they just totally forgot about.
I'll cuss them out more too if that's what it takes. I
Yeah.
mean, shit, I got some things but at the same time, like, what does it take? Does it take somebody getting angry?
I don't know.
We have a lot of YouTubers that are angry. I can tell.
Yeah.
Like, we're all here waiting for something. I mean, if it was just like a gameplay update that was somewhat small, we'd be like, oh, that's progress, like a step forward. But we don't see that. We only see player updates, and that's fine and all, but like at the same time, being supercharged doesn't like change the fact that the game itself is broken.
Yeah. Yeah.
They can supercharge Pujols all they want. Like it
Hmm.
doesn't change the fact that the hitting engine is broken.
Yeah.
And he has 0 speed.
I know, dude. I was like, you couldn't just give him like one for running around the bases or anything like that. So
Yeah,
I
like
mean, he's slow as shit.
he is so slow. You can't even get a double with him. On
You have
Coors,
to get that right into the gap. Can't get anything else. Or you're out by
I
a
want to
mile.
I want to see somebody hit for the cycle with Albert Pujols in 0 speed. I want to see it so bad.
It has to be done like at polo grounds.
100%. Like there's no other way you could do that. I mean, he'd have to hit a home run out of the park for the home run to count because there's no inside the park with Albert. That is out of the question.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're playful. I mean, even if you are playful, I doubt your base running skills will translate to somebody with 0 freaking speed.
Yeah.
I just can't see it happening. I feel bad, but
Yeah.
I mean, the man is 42. He's been carrying a freaking anchor on his back for the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dude, yeah, the 700 home runs is just crazy.
It's not going to be seen again unless we see Judge just go massive.
Yeah. And speaking of Judge, man, I don't know. I'm starting to doubt that he's gonna break the record. I don't
You
think he's
think?
gonna. I think he might hit one more home run. What to tie it, right?
He's got one to tie, but I mean,
I
62.
think he's just
2
gonna
home
tie it
runs?
because like I've been keeping progress of his at bats and all that. People are not pitching to him, and he's just hitting
Yeah.
singles and striking out. And we've got until October. We've only got about like 12 games left of the season,
Yeah.
and I don't think he's gonna do it.
I'm actually going to check. Let's see how many games they have left. And after that, I want to play you a clip from your stream that's going to be a part of the intro for the YouTube.
Okay.
But let's see. Let's go to. I mean, Judge. And I know the Twins just played the freaking Angels, and Trout hit a nuke into left field. That was insane. I watched it live. I tuned in for like 2 seconds. I'm like, oh, Trout's up. Cool. I'm gonna watch it. Oh, all right. See you later. Let's see. Oh, they only played 7 innings today. 6 innings.
With the Yankees?
Yankees and Red Sox, yeah.
Oh, because of Moreno? Oh, because of
Yep.
Oh.
2, 3, 4. They have 10 games left. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got 10 games to hit 2 home runs. I mean, Albert did hit 2 in the same game. Who knows?
Yeah,
He's got the Blue Jays and then the Orioles. So I think his best chance is probably against the Orioles.
Mhm.
But then they're at the Rangers.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's gonna break it.
think
When he hit his 60th, dude, I was thinking of Stanton, of when he ended at 59, he had all that time. It was
Yeah.
like Stanton's in shambles because he could have been the yeah he could have. There's not a lot of people with 60 home runs in a season. He was right there.
100%. I think if you think about it too much, it ends up changing your swing. It happened to Joe Mauer when he went into the home run derby. He completely changed his swing and he became a different type of hitter. The back half of the season, he played bad. Like, he was thinking about it too much. He was too worried about hitting that home run mark for the Twins, like the single season home run record for them. So it was like, it's like you changed your swing for it, so it affects you.
Yeah.
I can imagine Judge having a tougher time. I mean, it's a pressure packed situation, especially in New York. I mean, that's a pressure cooker if you ask me.
Yeah. Don't worry, he'll get a little bit of less stress when he comes to San Francisco this offseason.
You think so?
I think so. I think he wants to come home. I think if he doesn't win a World Series this year, I think he'll come home. Maybe if he wins a World Series, I think they'll offer him a big bag.
I was gonna say that World Series does like make you want to stick with that team. I mean, Stanton's gonna be there. You're gonna have Rizzo for another year. You're gonna have the young core. You're gonna have is it Perez as well?
Oswaldo
Perez?
Cabrera, Oswaldo Perez. There are
Yeah.
a bunch of Oswalds on that team.
They have, and then Harrison Bader. I mean, if he stays as well,
I want him on the Giants so bad.
You want him?
I love that guy, dude.
Harrison Bader's he's got a personality out there too. I think it's cool to listen to him. He was mic'd up tonight. That was fun to hear.
Yeah, no, I like his hustle and I like his swing and all that. I don't know why the Cardinals went ahead and made that stupid trade for Montgomery. That was a dumb trade.
I mean, when Harrison Bader was on the Cardinals, I played with him when he like last season on 21, and he was one of my favorite live series cards.
Yeah,
his 99 speed doesn't. Why don't they give him like better stealing? They gave him like 5
I don't know. I don't know what it is about the stealing and the speed and all that. Like,
I guess they base it off your actual steal stats. I wonder if he doesn't.
Maybe
swing
that's
as many
why.
Bags.
Yeah,
not as aggressive. You gotta Harrison Bader. Just steal more bags. Your steal rate will go up in the game, and you'll be a live series player that nobody else can take out of their lineup. Like, all of a sudden, you're the best player in the game, bro.
Exactly.
I don't know. That's cool to see those lives. I mean, the best live series players right now, Aaron Judge and Mike Trout. I have seen people still using them, I will say. And Shohei, I used him yesterday, and his pitching is still viable at least.
Yeah.
If you want to throw him in later in the game, you definitely can't start him because the 99 starters right now are just too good. Like Don Sutton, that dude, he doesn't throw hard, but he dices. He dices, bro. You're gonna have a hard time. So if you see
I just started getting used to Randy
pitcher,
Johnson. Now I got to face someone else.
Well, he's a righty, so it is.
Does he have a sinker?
Like, he has a sinker. That's the thing. His sinker, it just
Jesus.
It just dies, baby. I played a guy earlier, and I was your pitching tip the pitching tip that you mentioned in your last video. I've been thinking about that a long time, like kind of side to side. A lot of people are going high and low.
Yeah.
So we're kind of going back to the Greg Maddux side to side, off fastball off speed, fastball off speed. So the slider is constantly, that's your favorite, right?
Yeah, no, I always throw that, and you can tell someone's skill gap. You can tell a skill gap when you throw a slider. If someone's swinging at that, you know that player is just not good. And if someone is taking that, you know you're facing someone who's probably maybe good. So then it becomes tough because I depend on the slider so much. And yeah, no, I watched that video and he said everybody slams their PCIs to the corner of the strike zone. And I even
Yeah.
realized that myself when I was swinging. I was like, "Oh shit, I am slamming into the corner." So then, yeah, no, I started pitching them like middle in, middle away, and sometimes I'll do a sinker high and in and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to do better with tunneling and all that. Like if
Yeah.
I throw a cutter, then I'll try to throw a slider right after, something like that, or
Yeah.
yeah,
The tunnels.
just trying to look at identical and different movements.
That was one thing I wanted to mention was tunnels, because like I mean, the only thing about pitching from behind the mound, and I did pitch behind the mound with the pitcher offset. So like I'm with you. I like pitching from behind the mound. I feel like my timing sequencing is better and everything. But
Mm.
I have started going pitching with strike zone high so that I can see the tunnels. Mainly because my favorite pitch now is like if you do go high and in after you've kind of worked away and stuff. If you see them late on a high and in, you can throw a changeup middle in or middle away,
Mm.
and after throwing like a high away or high in, so you have to follow your high in
Yeah,
fastball with
yeah.
the high with a middle in changeup. They swing over it every time.
Yeah, no, I've noticed that. Like, yeah, no, in my World Series game, I struck out the guy 20 times, and a lot of it was on the low and in changeup because I would pound
Mm-hmm.
him inside, but then I would have that changeup like hook. It would hit the bottom corner of the strike zone
Yeah.
inside, and he would miss the ball completely. So
That's a
that's
pitch
up.
I don't see YouTubers using, is that middle in changeup after a high in fastball, and that's a strategy I've been using, and I've had a lot of good games with pitchers where like I'll get, like you said, like 20 Ks. Like
Mm,
it feels like it's a very effective pitch.
yeah, yeah,
Middle in changeup, low and away slider after that cutter like you mentioned, and then like a sinker high and in. Those sinkers high and in, if they fade in enough, like they can't get the PCI on it. There's nothing.
no, no. Those are pretty much high and in sinker and the low and away slider are kind of like the two common dominant pitches. Um, Sometimes I'll throw it back to a cutter.
Mm.
A lot of people freeze on that. Not unless you're really good, then you're right there. But yeah, no, that's pretty much it. And sometimes you can get away with the fastball down the middle at times.
Mm.
I mean, a
Yeah.
lot of people get away with it against me because I'm just slamming my PCI down. But
Dropping that PCI is such a hard habit to break.
yeah, I really wish that they would have kept the last year. They would have kept the showing your opponent's PCI placement.
Yeah,
It would have
yeah,
helped so much this year because
yeah.
I just never realized how helpful it was until now. Now it's
When
not
you don't see it because you don't know if like where they're missing, if they're above or below,
yeah,
like how are they
yeah,
what are their tendencies like?
yep,
Um Even when they swing over, with like the character itself doesn't necessarily show you where they like swung or anything. So
no,
um but this is from one of your streams, by
let me
the
see.
Hey Taylor!
Oh, this is not loud. Are you kidding me? You were
Hey Taylor! Taylor Price, my guy. Guys, if you want to go check out Taylor
Yeah,
Price's
yeah, that's when you stop by. Yeah,
I was like, all of a sudden I just like heard that from the other room because I'm on my phone, but then I had it playing on my PC too.
yeah.
So I'm like cooking food. I'm like, oh, Kev's streaming. Let me just type in the chat while I'm cooking food. And I hear, hey, Dad! This is that guy from the other room. I was like, that's the best. So I had to go back.
Hey Taylor! Taylor Price, my guy.
I had to make sure that that's in there because if I can get that into like an intro song or something like that,
Mhm.
that's becoming a part of my intro 100%.
Love it.
Let's
Like
go.
that.
Oh, we just got to get more more B-roll, I guess. Like just more pods under my belt so I can just get more sound bites and more
Have you
more clips.
recently reached out to any other guys to go ahead and get?
Yeah. I mean, playful as well, but like the guys I want to talk to, I just kind of want to start growing with the MLB the Show YouTubers. So I'm thinking about reaching out to a couple more just because I don't know, I want to hear their opinions and stuff like that. It'd be cool to get all of us on too to kind of get that round table going. That'd be cool. I'd love to.
No, because I definitely want to
so.
hear that. Because I mean, I can't think of any other 20-year-old in this community that's we call it gotten only to DT in 19 and then still
Yeah.
has like doesn't have like the best grasp of the game, but all these other guys, they've been playing for a long time. They've got a whole lot to talk about, and I'm curious to see what they have to say and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I'm anxious to see where this kind of landscape goes with the show, because these guys that we're in the community with definitely care about it just as much as we do. And if they have ideas like we do and they care just as much, I want to hear what they have to say too, because there's got to be a way for us to get our voices heard, like we mentioned, so that SDS can make some changes, because we want this game to flourish. Like that's it. That's all we want.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if we're being real with ourselves, that's what we want. We don't want people to think that like we're coming at SDS to like make them feel bad, or like we just want to hate on them or nothing. It's just because we genuinely care that baseball, grows along with this game. So
Exactly.
So, well, Kev, thank you so much again.
Yeah.
I can't thank you enough for being on for the third time, even though this is the second time that you're going to be heard on the podcast. But the thing is that this is going to grow with the show and with all of with YouTube as well. So I'm hoping that we can get our voices heard, like I said, but then just get back on here again so that we can talk some more and chill.
For sure. I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
Well, KevBrado, again, you guys know where to follow Kev. I'm going to leave his links in the description for not just the Spotify, but the YouTube links and everything. Go check out Double Trouble Season 4 is going to be coming out soon.
Yep. 18th October.
18th of October. Have you picked a captain yet?
Not yet, because I feel like there should be more content coming out soon leading up to the 18th.
Right.
And if they drop a 99 Pujols anytime soon, I might have to pick up Pujols.
That's right.
I need a reliable guy, not someone who falls off in the middle of the season. and I have to drop him down to the 8th spot. Like, I need someone who's good.
O'Neal had his time, man. I feel bad for him, but man, he was so good for just a tiny little fragment.
Yep. His defense was the highlight of the entire most of the season on the defensive part, but his hitting just fell off mid-season.
So we all look forward to it, and I can't wait to see more, not just Double Trouble, but like 2K and everything more. I hope you branch out, dude, because that is a way for you to get more people to kind of at least just see what your content is like. So, Kev, again, thank you so much, bro.
No problem.
We'll see you around.
Thank you.